Hello, I'm Cal Cunningham, and I'm running for the United States Senate. I decided to take this step with the encouragement of my wife Elizabeth, our families, and so many friends, and after receiving literally hundreds of phone calls and emails over the last few weeks urging me to run. I've been humbled by this experience. Getting in this race means joining the fight for the change that our state and our country urgently need, and working to build a better future for our kids and grandkids. I'm not new to these battles, first as a state senator, and then as an Army prosecutor and captain in Iraq. I've fought the waste, the fraud, and the criminal conduct that endangered North Carolina families and American soldiers. In particular, I was proud to be awarded a Bronze Star for cracking down on contractor crimes that harmed the mission and wasted taxpayer dollars. Now, I'm running for U.S. Senate to repair the damage done to our country. I'll take on the Wall Street firms, the corporate interests, and the culture of recklessness that caused the economic crisis, devastated the retirement funds of millions of Americans, put millions of homeowners into foreclosure, and then squandered billions of dollars in bailout funding. I'll fight to improve health care and job training for veterans, protect North Carolina's military communities and the bases that create thousands of jobs, and to strengthen North Carolina's public schools, community colleges, and universities so we can grow the new economy jobs that will power an American comeback. My top priorities will be to work with the President to create jobs, restore innovation to our economy, invest in clean energy, and lower the cost of health care for families and small businesses. Unlike Richard Burr, I'll always put North Carolina families first. We've had a chance to see who Richard Burr puts first: himself. In the early hours of the fiscal crisis, rather than fighting as a U.S. Senator to stem the damage and limit the panic, he was on the phone telling his wife to run to the ATM machine for cash. For years, while our families were watching their jobs disappear and their quality of life evaporate, Richard Burr was voting right down the party line with George Bush to bankrupt our country, send our jobs overseas, and give away the store to the oil companies and the insurance industry. Unfortunately, Richard Burr has become a textbook example of what's wrong in Washington. He refuses to accept responsibility, demands no fiscal accountability, and when it comes to standing up for North Carolina families, he shows no capability. I love North Carolina. I was born in Winston-Salem, grew up in Lexington. I went to UNC for college and law school. I met my wife Elizabeth here, and this is where we're raising our two children. Everything I believe in is rooted in North Carolina, church and family. I joined the U.S. Army Reserves after 9/11 so I could help defend our way of life. I served in the state Senate so I could help solve people's problems and move North Carolina forward. And now I'm running for U.S. Senate to help bring about the change our country urgently needs. I'm convinced we're in a fight for the future, and in this fight, a lot of North Carolinians, including some very close to me, have been knocked down. But we're tough people, and we get back up. I'm reminded of when I had a hard landing and was injured during Army Airborne training a few years ago. The recovery may be slow and painful, but we get back up, dust ourselves off, and stand in the open door so we can jump again. I begin this campaign with confidence that as we jump into this fight, you'll be there with me when the going gets tough. This Senate seat was once held by another paratrooper, former state senator, and UNC student leader, not to mention a long list of his other accomplishments. His name was Terry Sanford, and he led North Carolina in challenging times and made our state a model for the nation in education and civil rights. I would be honored to stand in his place in the U.S. Senate, to work with our president and represent our great state in this new era of challenges and change. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the state of North Carolina.